I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome to the South River Board of Education regular meeting, Monday, January 30th, 2023. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Laws of 1975 of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the South River Board of Education was provided in the following manner. On January 4th, 2023, the notice was delivered to the office of the South River Borough Clerk and posted at the Board of Education Administration Building. On January 4th, 2023, the notice was faxed, mailed to the following newspapers: Home News Tribune, Sentinel. On January 4th, 2023, the notice was posted at the South River Borough Clerk's office. Mr. Rosa, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bazak. Here. Mr. Budson. Mrs. Bush.
Yes.
Ms. Byrne.
Here.
Mrs. Lell.
Here.
Mr. Nielsen.
Here.
Ms. Sadowski.
Here.
Ms. Young Yao.
Here.
Ms. Urbanic.
Here.
Mr. Jaden Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez will be excused for this evening's meeting. Thank you. So just to remind the board members, this is a combined meeting tonight. We're going to go through the committee reports, then we'll come back for the consent resolution. So our first item of business, though, is the minutes. Mr. Rosa.
So we do have the December 19th regular meeting minutes, and we also have the January 2nd reorganization meeting minutes.
Okay, board members, are there any questions or comments on those minutes? And seeing none, is there a motion on the minutes?
Nielsen moved minutes as read.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen.
Second.
There is a second by Ms. Byrne. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, the motion passes. Mr. Rosa, what do we have under use of facilities?
We have revised use of facilities number 1441 for DECA dance competition. We also have number 1444, class of 2026. Number 1445, elementary school PTA. Number 1446, South River Recreational Department. Number 1447, primary school PTA. Number 1448, Social Justice Club. Number 1449, High School Drama Club. Number 1450, Spotlight Dance Academy. Number 1451, Middle School Drama Club. Number 1452, number 1453, and 1454, all for South River Recreational Department. And number 1455, Elementary School Drama Club.
Okay, thank you. Board members, what is your pleasure on these use of facilities?
Move the use of facilities in accordance with board policies.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. by Ms. Lell. Okay, are there any questions or comments?
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
Madam President. I've said it once, I'll say it again. This school district is the center of the universe within this town. As you can see by tonight's, I think it's through 13 or 14 clubs. The borough of South River uses our property. We open our doors to outside dance competitions, not just things that are used within our own school district here. So we are, again, the center of the South River universe, and I just like to, let the public know. They seem to forget about that stuff. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Nielsen. Very well said. Any other questions or comments on the use of facilities? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, the motion passes. Next item on the agenda is our financial report. Ms. Lell.
Thank you. Be resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the reports of the Board Secretary and the Treasurer of School Monies for November 2022 be approved. And I so move.
Motion by Ms. Lell,
Second.
second by Mr. Nielsen. Are there any questions or comments on the financial report? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes. At this time, we're going to turn the meeting over to our superintendent for her report. Dr. Zurcher.
Thank you, Mrs. Rivani. I'd like to begin this month's report by mentioning that January is School Board Appreciation Month. It's a great time to take a moment and appreciate our board members. And for this board, I've said it many times, I can't say it enough. This board is involved, is engaged, prioritizes the needs of students, and just really is a unified group that really does everything it can to better the conditions for our students, for our schools, and I can't say enough how much we appreciate that. So thank you, board members, for all of the hard work that you do. It's not easy to read all of these contracts, agenda items. It's a lot of work to be a board member, and all of you do it diligently and just really do it so well. So thank you. I wanted to discuss some ESL bilingual initiatives that we have in the district, and that is to acquire certification for several of our teachers. So the district has partnered with the College of New Jersey, with TCNJ, and with TCNJ, we established a first cohort of 12 teachers that are actually doing courses at TCNJ, and they are taking these courses to obtain their ESL/bilingual or ESL bilingual, it could be both or one or the other, certification. That is a great asset for our district. It means teachers will have the content knowledge, of course, in their current area of teaching, but now also they will have the skills and the mastery needed to work with our English language learners. TCNJ was really pleased with how our first cohort did. All of the teachers followed through with the program, and they have now received a grant that they would like to forward to the district in order to support another cohort of 12 teachers to begin doing the same thing. So with 2 cohorts, that would give us 24 teachers in the district that would be ESL or bilingual certified, as well as, of course, our existing team of ESL bilingual teachers of 15. So we're really getting to a place where we can meet the needs of our changing population. We have about 450 students in the district that qualify for ESL services. But those children, of course, receive instruction from their ESL teachers, but they also receive instruction from the regular classroom teachers. So this is a great benefit. And what's really good about this certification process is that when it comes to learning ESL bilingual skills, teachers are really focused on learning how to help students better read, write, speak, and develop listening skills. And that is something that all of our students, regardless of their native language, can benefit from. So we're very excited about this project, very thankful for TCNJ in offering it to our district, and we're excited to get our second cohort started. We are in the process of beginning our budget planning and presenting for the upcoming school year, for the 23-24 school year. And this process really includes doing a needs assessment with our departments, with our building administration, so that they can prioritize based on the needs of students, and then come up with the resources and the priorities that they need for their schools, for their students, for their departments. So the budget process does include, of course, each of the building budgets, as well as departments such as special education, ESL bilingual, social, emotional, and mental health, facilities as well. And the process, like I said, is beginning in the next week or so. And then the board will have a preliminary budget to review and approve. The finance committee will meet to specifically discuss the budget in detail. Then we will send that preliminary budget to the county, and then a presentation will be made to the public with a special announcement of such, so that the public can also be aware of what is included in the upcoming year's budget. We hosted the Day of Dialogue once again in our district this month, and we've had students from all over the county visit our school campus. They were engaged in conversations and activities together. It was great to see students from all over the county come together and just really talk with each other about their different experiences. It was eye-opening for our students as well as theirs, and again, it was a very successful event in district. And finally, I think by now the public is aware of the results of our referendum election. They are, I don't have any other way to say it, but they are truly disappointing to our district, our board. But we will now convene, we'll discuss the impacted needs as they still remain, and then we'll develop our next steps to address those needs, to address preschool education, the stadium, and improved athletic fields for multiple sports. Also, on my superintendent's report today, there is a confirmed bid for the board to approve. And with that concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zurcher. Is there a motion for the superintendent's report?
Nielsen,
Motion by Mr. Bazak, is there a second?
second.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Are there any questions or comments on the superintendent's report? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, the board is going to open up the meeting to the public. This is to address agenda items only. If you come to the podium, please state your name and address, and please keep your comments to a 10-minute limit. There will be another public session at the end of this meeting for any other items for the board's concern. At this time, this is only for agenda items. Anybody from the public?
Hi, I'm Brenda O'Connor, and I'm here because of the stadium. And I'm wondering why the stadium is in such disrepair and such poor condition that every time it gets up for bid, it gets knocked down by the public.
Ms. O'Connor, that's a good question, and that's probably one that nobody up here can answer as to why it gets voted down.
Right.
As a public board, we do have to put any significant cost out to be voted on to the public. These items are not included in our educational budget, so everything has to go out for a referendum to be bonded. As far as the state that it's in,
The condition is poor.
Mr. Nielsen, help me with the year that this was built. Mr. Nielsen is our chair of the buildings and
Okay.
grounds. You gave me a date.
From what I can find out, it was built through a federal works program sometime around 1940 to 1941. So
Yeah.
the timbers inside were old growth timbers, so
Yeah.
they're strong.
Right.
But the problem is they are old
Yeah.
and, and that's why.
What
Just like everything else
Is
that
this
breaks
the
down.
second time that this has been voted down? This is what I've heard.
The stadium?
Yeah. Wasn't there supposed to be turf and lights and all that? Like-
Before I came on the
Yeah.
board, there was talk of lights, and I know that the district did have, I'm gonna go back 30 years here.
Right.
John, you can probably help me out with this one.
Yeah.
There, when the Meadowlands
Yeah.
redid the racetrack, the horse racetrack, they donated the lighting system from there to the district to be utilized here around the football
Right.
stadium. So they cut them up, they brought them down, they sat down in the Borough Garage for probably over a decade,
Yeah.
and the people in the neighborhood said, no,
Shut it
no
down.
lights, we don't
Yeah.
want lights.
Yeah, they don't want
And-
anything. What I'm upset about is the state, it's, people don't understand that it's not just, it needs to be done. It raises the value, it brings, a different element to the town. I don't understand why this is the second time lights were to be put, I don't know how long ago you said, they shut it down. Everything for the kids here gets shut down. Everyone complains about the school, the teachers, how the school stinks. They have a bad score, 5 as opposed to other towns. And they keep wanting to just stop progress here. And the stadium is progression here. It's something for the kids, it's something for the morale here. And every time something comes to get the morale up in this town, everyone shuts it down. I think that no one should have anything to say. I think that the stadium should be done. It's in disrepair, it's embarrassing, okay? You go there and it looks like, as old as it is, 70 years old or more. And, you know, it doesn't do anything for the kids, to uplift the kids, to bring them, you know, into a different frame of mind. You look around, it looks like garbage. Finally, the track's done, for God's sakes.
My
no one
sons
gets
play
to it.
football. We go all around Middlesex
So,
County,
same
Essex
here.
County, and
Same
we go
here.
on turf fields.
Yeah,
But
and it's
according to the
beautiful.
people in this town, turf is bad. We, you
No,
know,
it's
we don't know what
beautiful.
to tell you.
You
I
go,
mean,
you go everywhere else and you come here and everyone wants their value of their homes to go up, but they don't want to do anything to change it. And that's part of the change. If you're taking care of your home and you want your value to go up, that goes with the town. Changing the stadium, making it a turf field, making everything nice, people want to come here. Why do they want to come here and look at that? What is there, what's
You're
here
preaching
for
to
the
the
kids?
choir here, Miss O'Connor.
What's
You're
here for the
preaching to the
kids?
choir.
Every time, this is the second time, because I heard that. They shut the lights down, then don't, you know, then I don't know what to tell you. Then don't live around the stadium. Move, I don't know what to tell you. But every time it's for the kids, everyone shoots it down. And I'm tired of the people here, quite honestly. I don't know what they're thinking. When you go to other places, and I go everywhere, the same as you, I'm
I
sure.
see you there.
And it's nice. And you're like, wow, that's nice. They're treating the kids with the respect that they deserve to be treated with. And I don't understand how the people here can look at themselves in the mirror and not want to give to their kids, or other people's kids for that matter.
Well,
I
I'll
don't
tell
care
you,
whose kids, what
the
comes
one
here.
thing I heard the most from residents in this town when
They don't want
when we
to-
wanted
they don't
this,
wanna pay.
it was, I've already paid for my kids, I'm not paying for
That's what I
anybody
heard
else's.
too. And that's, here you
That's the
go.
mentality that
That's
you deal
exactly
with,
right.
is that
That's
I
why-
paid for my kid, I don't wanna pay for somebody
Exactly,
else's.
that's selfish.
Can't-
And
can't
then
keep-
you wanna know what that says to you? Hooray for me, I don't, and not hooray for you. Okay, that's selfish person, okay? But when they want to go to sell their house and other people come from New York, wherever it is, why do they wanna come here? And look at that poo-poo stadium that we have there. Why do they wanna come here? What is it here that they're gonna wanna raise their kids here? Why? They don't think of that though. Why do they wanna raise their kids and come here? They go to East Brunswick, go to Monroe, and go anywhere else that people respect their kids and want to see their kids flourish.
Mrs. Connor, you have some extremely passionate,
Yeah, it's annoying. I'm tired of the people here. I
comments.
think that they should be, zip their lips, and it should not even be in their hands.
and
It should be, the stadium should go up, the turf field should go up, the lights should go up, and you wanna know what everyone has to say here? Nothing. They shouldn't have a voice, and here's why. The firehouse, I didn't have a voice. I lived here 21 years. When that firehouse went up, I was like, what is going on here? Number one, we didn't need a firehouse that big, for one, that's my opinion. And for two, I didn't have a voice. They put that up under everyone's nose, I'm sure I'm not the only one, and it went up, whether I liked it or not. So that's the way the stadium should be the same. It should go up, turf field should go up, the kids should be respected, the kids should have a better morale here. The lights should go up, and if no one likes it, put your signs out, move. It should go up, the kids come first. Not everyone's little, I don't care, my kids, I raise my kids, too bad for you. I don't care. The kids come first here. And it's shame on everyone that said that, because I've heard that myself.
and because of what you said, that the
Yeah.
kids come first,
The kids should
is
come
the
first.
reason that this entire board
Yeah.
decided to put it out
Yeah.
as a question. The Board of Education is not allowed to just bond like the Borough Council is for significant costly improvements. The Borough Council can do that. We cannot. We are governed by the Department of Education, and please, Mr. Parton, if there's anything erroneous that I'm saying, we have to put out a referendum to ask the people of the town for additional tax funding. This is though, I don't know where you're hearing that, though, just to maybe get the right information out there.
Yeah.
The stadium has never been up before. This is the first time. And
Well,
I
I
think
heard
Mr.
about the
Budzen
lights.
could help me with that. I've been on the board
Yeah.
for 28
Right.
years,
Yeah.
and this is the only time that I recall
Right,
the stadium going up. But you
Okay.
did hear from Mr. Nielsen. It was built in 1941.
Yes.
We have been patching it and
Yes.
reinforcing it
yes.
as long as we possibly can. The literature that was put out regarding the stadium does indeed state, according to our structural engineer report, that beyond the 23-24 school year, the stadium can no longer safely be used.
Okay.
So we've got some things to consider.
Right,
With that, also, we have a lot of early young learners that we need to talk about also.
Right. Yeah.
Your passion embodies the spirit of why we went out for a
Yeah.
referendum.
yeah,
Thank
but it
you.
got shot down by everybody. So
It-
you're saying that basically in another year or two, it's gonna have to be done? So-
We don't know, we
Oh.
can only go with what the structural report
Right.
has told us currently.
Right,
I don't know if there's anything more that can be done to reinforce it. 1941 is a long time to ask.
Did, everyone was aware that it's like
Yes.
Band-Aid and no one
Yes.
cares? Oh, That's
Yes,
even
we
better,
had
that's even better.
Many
Fair.
pictures
Yeah.
on our website.
We had a
We had a
tour of the
walkthrough
stadium.
of the stadium,
Yeah.
which was attended by
4 people.
you're generous.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well,
that's sad,
I'm including the ex-board member that was there.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you wanna know what, it's sad that everyone says they raised their kids, too bad for you, I'm not gonna pay
Yeah.
up. Because when they had their turn, I'm sure, they wanted things nice for their children, so it's sad to hear.
well, maybe
Yeah.
hearing you
Yeah.
will
Maybe they don't
help
care.
some people
No,
look
because
at
I
it.
heard that, I heard
different
what
way.
he said, I heard people say that, their kids are, go to other schools and they don't care, and I was like, oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I really do appreciate it,
Yeah.
I think all the board
All right,
appreciates your
So hopefully we'll
passion.
get it done, regardless.
See what we could do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you,
All right.
Take care.
thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public
Thank you.
wishing to address the Board of Education at this time on agenda items?
On, that issue was a agenda item, but I'll wait till,
It was in the superintendent's report with regard to the referendum results. So yes, it
all right,
indeed,
I'll speak on my thoughts on it. Richard Byrne, 11 Bissett Place, South River. I have here the sample ballot, which the date it was mailed is proscribed by state law. People think, oh, it came too late. I mean, well, there's NJSA statutes that say
Mhm.
that this had to be mailed on the Thursday before the Tuesday election. That's law, And every word in both the question statements and the explanatory statement are prescribed by state law. And this is like stereo instructions. You read this, I have no idea, 33 million is the total, there's a 10 million figure, a 3 million figure, is this not eligible for state aid? It is, or 47% of what is covered, like, the state of New Jersey is responsible for the unintelligibleness of this sample ballot. So I work for the company. I read regulations so I can understand some of it, but just the members of the general public are at a loss reading this. So perhaps maybe a separate written where the numbers are laid out simply and easy to understand and might help later on. Yes, I did read about the state's early childhood education program, which we received the grant to operate the preschool. It is clearly the governor's goal that every 3- and 4-year-old child in the state of New Jersey will have access to district-provided preschool by the end of this decade. And to jumpstart the system, they created the criteria by which they would fully fund the districts on the ground floor. I believe it said 20% of the students either get free or reduced lunch was the threshold that qualified South River School District for this 100% operating cost grant for the school. Last year, in October, they announced 24 additional districts being added to this program, and they're lowering the threshold to 10% the year after. But it's going to reach a point where there's going to be a mandate, and 100% of school districts, regardless of whether they're funded by the state or not, are going to have to comply with this. And I work for the Department of Community Affairs. I do not speak on their behalf. But we have every school building built has to go to plan review to my office on the 4th floor. The construction permit is done by, under the supervision of the school construction unit at DCA. And they do, on average, 90 to 100 projects per year. Well, when this mandate comes down about 5 years from now, there's going to be 400, 500 school districts needing to build new facilities. And they're used to handling 100 applications a year, and they're going to have 200, 300 a year, which means they're going to back up. Means the timelines on all these things are going to get pushed beyond the deadline in the state law that's coming. And you're going to be competing to build with 400 other school districts 5 years from now, which means the cost, supply and demand, is going to go up. So it was very short-sighted by the voters to kill this now, shooting themselves in the foot by shooting it down now. So, and I understand there was a resolution passed to put the question on the ballot in the March special election, but having gone down by 75%, 25%, just proposing again, it's probably not the best idea. Clever slimming down parts, reorganizing it, separating things out. This was a good idea when it was proposed, and it is a bad idea to let the state come in and mandate it and then not pay for it. So, with respect to the stadium, I can tell you that I would love to have lights and Friday night games for the football games. As a football enthusiast, I can tell you if I have a choice between going to a Rutgers game on a Saturday afternoon or a South River High School game on a Saturday afternoon, 9 out of 10 times I'm going to go to the Rutgers game and skip the high school game. I'm class of '88, I'm an alumnus. So there's, I don't know, a radius around the school where maybe 40 households would object to lights and Friday night games. Why? Because, does it make more noise? Oh, I go to sleep at 9 o'clock. Geez, I don't know, Should the 4,000 property owners in town be held hostage by these 40 or 50 homeowners? No, I don't think so. They don't like it, tough. Vote against it, The province has given the voters on questions like this by state law. So, yeah, I would come to every Friday night game if you had lights. Hey, what are we going to do in 2 years? Are we going to just have people bring their lawn chairs and sit on the east side of the stadium against the little away bleachers? Are we going to rent East Brunswick's field and we'll do our games on Saturday afternoon and they'll do their games on Friday nights? And, we got to come up with a plan to handle this if we can't, do the right thing, so to speak. So, yes, I think it was a bad idea to vote this down. So, and I have something else to talk about.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Anybody else from the public on first call, second call, third call? We will close this public session and we are going to go on to our committee reports, beginning with athletics and extracurricular. Mr. Budzen.
There's nothing beyond the agenda, but to say that the winter sports are the boys basketball, girls basketball are doing exceptionally well. Wrestling is doing fine. We're moving forward. That's all I have.
Thank you. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Nielsen.
Nothing to report, but if you've read Mr. Blage's report that he submitted, you can see the day-to-day operations is going inside. We've been lucky so far, knock wood, that we haven't had to use that four-letter word, and let's hope it stays that way. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Nielsen. Finance, Mrs. Lau.
Thank you. I have 19 items to read this evening. 8.1, approve New Jersey Office of Emergency Management Memorandum of Understanding. 8.2, submit, accept New Jersey Schools Development Authority Grant fiscal year 2023. That was for about $58,000 to convert the middle school area to a learning area. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that. 8.3, approve contract Employee Services LLC, DBA ESI Employee Assistance Group, Employee Assistance Program Services Provider for the 2023 calendar year. 8.4, approve contract County of Essex Turtleback Zoo Field Trip Service Provider for the 2022-2023 school year. 8.5, approve contract Medieval Times Dinner and Tournament New Jersey Field Trip Service Provider 2022-2023 school year. 8.6, approve contract Urban Wayfield Inc. Harrah's Waterfront Conference Center Field Trip Transportation Service Provider for the 22-23 school year. 8.7, approve contract with Sapphire Grand Prom Service Provider for the 23-24 school year. Mr. Minto's like ahead of it, like, this is amazing. Like, I had to make sure that the year was right when I looked. 8.8, approve contract MC Visual Concepts Sound Technician Services Provider Elementary School for the 22-23 school year. 8.9, approve contract Staywell Services Inc. one-to-one nursing services for the 22-23 school year. 8.10, approved contract with the Bilingual Child Study Team, Dr. Andre J. Francois, Bilingual Child Study Team Evaluation Services Provider for the 22-23 school year. 8.11, approved contract New Jersey Teacher to Teacher LLC, Workshop Service Provider for the 2022-23 school year. 8.12, approved contract Stepping Forward Counseling Center LLC, Intake Evaluation Services Provider for the 22-23 school year. 13, 14, 15 are our usuals: approved tax requisition, line item transfers, requisition list. And then we had some additions. 8.16, approved contract Advocate RFP Services for food service contract provider. I noticed that Mr. Rosa shared how we had success with them in the past, and it's to consider food services possibilities for the upcoming school year, so we're going back with them. 8.17, approved contract Marilyn A. Kovichik, MD, LLC, Pediatric Neurology Consultation Services Provider for the 22-23 school year. 8.18, addition approved contract Liberty Science Center, Field Trip